What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. It's another week. Rims of Power, right back at you.
Yikes!
We're already
Coming in
halfway
hot.
through. We're already halfway through the season.
And we're
2.
2 weeks in,
and we haven't even reviewed it yet. We're already halfway through the season.
slacking off.
Yeah, you know how many people carried over from season 1?
Well, it was only like what 13% that finished season 1.
So
Well, it's
from
30%.
the very beginning, the first 4 days of the first season, they had 1.8 million views. 1.8 million views. How many do you think they had over the first? Okay, not the first 4 days. They're calculating this over the first 5 days of Rings of Power season 2. How many views do you think they got over the first 5 days of this new season?
350,000.
No, a little bit more than that.
Okay. 375,000.
A little bit higher than that. Well, actually, higher than that. Much higher than that.
Okay.
But
all right.
650.
600,000.
no, okay, whatever. 902,000 viewers over the first 5 days. And if you do the math and you actually just do it over 4 days, like they originally did with the first one, they lost about 60% of their audience from season 1 to season 2.
Wow.
And if only 13%, or I don't think it was 13%. I think it was like 30%. Yeah, 30% of their audience stayed till the very end of season 1. You can only imagine how many are going to stay to the end of season 2. So, yeah. And boy, oh boy, is it. I didn't think anything could get worse in season 1, but it got worse, guys. It got much worse. So welcome back. How's everybody doing?
Great. Good. Feel like I'm out of practice for this. It's been a little while.
But yeah, where you been?
What have you been?
Been something to do with buffaloes?
Sleeping with the buffaloes and the elk and the wolves, camping in Yellowstone.
Oh, hey, wow.
There's the Flash.
It's always a surprise.
It's always, hey, we're not even 3 minutes in and he's already here.
When you hear the sound of the multiverse, guys.
Wow. Everything's whizzing fast.
Yeah. I was just telling him how many people showed up for season 2 of Rings of Power. How many do you think showed up? Or what percentage of the audience do you think came back for season 2?
Came back 15.
A little bit higher. I mean, better than that. But that's a great guess, though. I wouldn't fault you for that guess.
50%.
40%.
Okay.
40% came back for season 2.
Jeez, that's bad.
Yeah. And it was about 1 million views too for the first one over the first 4 days. And that in and of itself isn't that great. Actually, it might be 1 million households. They might calculate it as households. So it could be multiple people, but think about how many views like Critical Drinker gets on a video in that amount of time. Like 2 million views, 3 million views.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Anyways, so we're going to be talking about that very soon. But Bluey and I were on a podcast last week. Not this one.
We're on a show. Yeah.
We were on a show last week. Not like ours isn't a show. You said that like ours is inadequate or something.
Which isn't exactly what it was. It was a live show.
Yeah. Well, it's basically the same thing. It's like a live podcast.
That wasn't ours.
That was not ours, yes.
We're guests.
Morning Mayhem has a new show live stream called Monday Night Mayhem. You can guess what day it is. And
Tuesday.
Yeah, it was fun. It was pretty fun.
No,
no, you idiot. Yeah, it was fun.
Give me 6 more guesses.
Yeah. We were on with 2 other guests, Robert from the Washcast, who's a political commentary, and he had his MAGA hat on. It was great. And then we had Sean from Third Rail Fight, which, to be completely honest, when I first saw that name, I had to double look because I thought it said Third Reich at first. But no, he is the Third Rail Fight, whatever that means. But he's from the land of Canada up there. And yeah, it was pretty fun. Chris from Morning Mayhem obviously was there, and we talked about wokeness. So good discussion. Wokeness in Hollywood, wokeness in politics, wokeness in culture, society, our everyday lives. And yeah, it was fun. You can go check that out on his Rumble channel. I assume it's just Morning Mayhem. And YouTube. And Odyssey, I think, too. So yeah, go check that out. It was fun. It was about a 2-hour stream. Bluey couldn't stay the whole time. But yeah, that was a blast. That was our first exposure out into the world.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like little babies spreading your wings.
We're spreading our wings, and I don't know if we flew very far, but we flew.
Oh, we flew.
Yeah.
Nice.
Go check that out. It was fun. But yeah, so Bluey, why don't you tell us what have you been up to the last 2 weeks?
Oh man. Well, I kind of got into something that's pretty in
Don't
depth.
tell me you got into Warhammer.
Yeah, I did. That's exactly what I did.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
are you ordering are you like building an army right now or
I
something?
probably will be in the
Oh
next
my
week.
Dude.
I don't know.
Dang
We'll
it. I
see.
want to do it too though, but I don't have the room
Okay.
for it.
I'll wait for you, but not too long. Like, yeah. So
That's so funny actually, because I had that idea last week, but I'm like, but I don't think I can get into it right now. But like we were both
too late. I've watched
thinking about it.
lore videos for the last
well then
couple
you're
of
an
days.
expert now, obviously, because you've watched all
Obviously.
the lore videos.
Yeah. Praise the Emperor, brother.
Yeah.
And so I am kind of diving in deep. I'm going to be getting some books, and I'm going to be reading the books.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of love it, not going to lie.
I mean, D&D kind of is like, it looks gay next to Warhammer. So
Yeah,
if you're into something like that, Warhammer is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's kind of like Halo, right? A little bit in a way.
No, the Ultramarines make Master Chief look like a baby.
Nice.
So yeah, it's kind of fun to
cool
dive in. It's kind of like, you know how Star Wars has extended universe?
Yeah.
All of Warhammer is like extended universe. Like it's all about like different stories or different campaigns.
Okay.
Like soldiers or chapters like take on. Like sure, there's like major events that happen, but there isn't like something that just says like this is main canon of Warhammer. It's like this is what's happening in the world at different times, and it just kind of all. So it's very vast, and like if you look up like a Warhammer wiki page for something, the meme is like you'll have 30 links to other pages, which also have 30 links to other pages, and they just all like you'll find yourself like 30 pages deep just reading about one topic. So,
hello, cousin.
Hello,
How are you doing?
Dude, I haven't talked to Trevor in a long time.
I haven't talked to Trevor in a while either, honestly.
Man,
Trevor.
Yeah. Good to see you, Trev.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man. But yeah, so I'm into Warhammer, I guess.
Nice. Well,
yeah,
maybe
I'm
I should.
excited.
Maybe I should get into it now.
You know what? Universal. Maybe if I have something by then, maybe we could do some.
Well, so have you watched more videos than the ones you sent me? Because I got to watch. I guess I watched those. Okay. Okay.
One's an overview, and one is the start to a long form.
Well, that one is more
series.
for Space Marines too, right? The game.
No,
some backstory for it.
It's to catch you up on the overall, like, major events leading up to like the history of man, kind of.
Okay.
So it's like history of man, which then goes into the campaign of what happens in Ultramarines 1 to then like setting you up for Ultramarines 2. So it does a good job of like, here's the universe and what's kind of happening. Here's what happened in the first game if you're looking to play the second game. And it's going into it. So
Well, the
it's
first
like
game is is $15
On sale.
bucks. So I
Yeah.
bought it. So I'm gonna
Nice.
play it.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
but yeah, I mean, I'm down to get into it. It's just I don't know if I have the space for it. You know, like that's an endeavor.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the real question is, are you going to paint your own figurines?
Hell yeah.
I mean, I feel like I can't not, right? It's like building
Yeah.
a PC. Like if you're gonna get a gaming PC, you got to build it. So
Yeah.
I mean,
no buying pre-builts. Nobody does that.
I'd feel gay if I didn't build it. You know, I mean, not that I don't already. No, okay. Yeah, let's.
You are gay.
Why are you?
Why are you gay?
Let's definitely talk about that next week because I am very
All right.
interested. I'm very
Sweet.
interested. We about to sink like $1,000 into a new hobby.
No. I want to ease in. Because you need a lot of pieces to play a full game of Warhammer. Like a lot.
And people to play with too, right?
Well, yeah. But there's also like you could do different factions, right? So you could do an
Right.
Ultramarines like men faction. It's called the Imperials. So you could do the Imperial faction. You could do a Xenos faction. I think there's like 3 or 4 of them that you could pick from.
Isn't the most elite squad now they're trying to introduce women into it in the lore? What's the main like the badass like ones that are like
I think I know which one you're talking about actually.
but they're now putting women in there, and it's historically all men, obviously.
Right.
And that's kind of like the whole point of the whole group is they're men, and
so
they're
the
now putting women in there.
Adepta Sororitas is all.
I don't know if it. Okay, yeah. But this very specific one, Warhammer. What are they even called?
The Adepta Sororitas.
I know, but what's the terminology for like different groups?
Like
Classes,
factions, chapters.
factions. The all-male army.
You could look up the all-female chapter. That might be one.
No, but that's not the one I'm talking about though. It's all male with all men. I need to find this out.
Wait, you're looking for one that's all men?
It's all men, yeah, and they're trying to put women into it, and it's like everybody's pissed off.
The Ultramarines? Is that the one?
No, it's not the Ultramarines. I'll figure it out later.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'll figure it out later. But yeah, I know that's it. People are starting to get worried because like Warhammer is like one of the few fandoms that hasn't been touched by wokeness yet. So we'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, so cool.
Everything has to die. Everything must burn.
Everything must burn. Yeah. Neato. So they're like books that you had like kind of like D&D. There's starter books and
no, they're like lore books.
Lore books, okay.
Yeah.
And are there like campaigns or is it mostly battles?
I think
how does it work?
From what I know, so there's the hobby part, which is building the figurines, painting them, building armies. That's like the hobby part, right? Building dioramas. Then there's
dioramas too. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Then there's the board game, which is, you have a board with 3D obstacles and stuff on the board. And there's a set of like, you could have an objective that you need to play, or you could just do like annihilation or whatever. And there's usually like a system where you point the pieces that you play, the units that make up, your army. So there's like the actual game. And then there's the lore. So there's like 3 different aspects of Warhammer that people kind of pick and choose to get into.
Cool.
So right now I'm starting with the lore, right? Because
Probably the
I love
easiest to do.
lore.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
easy, right? It's free if you go on YouTube.
Right.
But I would like to get into the hobby to be in the game. Like I want to play.
I agree. Yeah.
But I don't think there's many like campaigns that you can just like play out
Right.
like, with friends. I definitely think it's just like
It's
1v1
Yeah.
or 1v1v1v1, you know, stuff like that.
Cool.
Maybe I
Dude,
could be wrong. I
sounds
wouldn't be
exciting.
surprised if there is, you know, like
Yeah,
a
could be.
campaign. But yeah, so I'm kind of into it. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Whenever I have time to listen to something or, you know, find something out, it's so deep in especially like the major conflicts that I've gone over so far in
Yeah.
just like the history of man. It's insane. So yeah, the names are kind of funny, kind of hard to remember, but you get used to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing that. I watched recap on Rings of Power for this episode because I'm still
because
boycotting
I'm the
season
only
1.
one committed to this podcast, this show.
That's not true. That's not true. I just don't care enough to talk about it.
Wanted to see a bomb more.
Good excuse.
Here's the difference, right? I'll
Yeah.
watch a She-Hulk. I'll watch a bad Star Wars Acolyte show because I still have some heart left in those IPs, right? Like there's still, you know, as much as they're being destroyed right now, it hurts my heart, right?
It hurts my heart.
Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings, I'm not as attached to because like I didn't grow up watching. I didn't watch it until high school. Like I love it. It's great. But
Yeah.
it's not as a part of me as it is for you guys. And so it's like I could care less.
Yeah, this is personal for me. This is very
right. This is personal for you, right? And
Yeah.
that's a great way of saying it. Like Star Wars and Marvel, those are more personal to me.
Sure.
So I've got more interest into seeing what's going on with them and at least try to get a laugh out of the comedy of errors that's coming out of Hollywood with those shows. But with this, it's just kind of like cringe because I don't care enough to even laugh at it.
Super
You know what I
cringe,
mean? You know what I mean? So I watched recaps. I'm boycotting season 1, but I did make a deal with you, Biggie. I will watch season 2 for you.
Signed in blood.
It's not, but my word is my word, and I will follow through.
It's not. It's not.
I'm
Fake
still
news.
boycotting season 1. So
That is fake
Also-
news.
This is
also-
fake news.
this
Yes.
is fake news. I've been trying to be more active on x.com.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know. I've been trying to tweet. So follow me at _Bluey_54.
You're probably
And maybe
racist
you'll-
and sexist
Probably.
too.
Oh, definitely 100%. I'm a Star Wars fan that hated Acolyte, so I'm all of those things.
Wow, you are the reason they canceled season 2.
I am. I actually review bombed them. That was my job.
goodness.
Yeah.
I saw this
Yep.
video. This Wokey was like talking about toxic fans in Star Wars and stuff, and they're like,
Classic.
but if the reason season 2 got canceled is because they stopped watching it, and if the majority of if they're so big and they actually caused it to fail, then maybe they're the actual target audience and maybe they should be making shows for them. And it's like, you're so close. And then someone's like, no, it's because they review bombed it and all the normies stopped watching.
You can't review bomb
We were
views.
so close.
You cannot review bomb views. Okay. You can review bomb, but you can't review bomb views. Like if views go down, that is the metric.
Also, if you're also saying, okay, let's just say that's true, then all the normies actually are paying attention to our side. Then, if they care enough to not watch it, to take our opinion and not watch it, then
yeah,
either that or they're just realizing it's bad.
Listen to this.
Screw all these nerds. I'd rather watch anime.
I agree,
100%.
100%.
Yeah, stop watching new shows. Just watch anime.
Right, like Rings of Power season 2.
Yeah, well, we're the exception, so
we watch it. So you
Trevor can watch all the anime. His heart content, and that's great. That's perfect and good for him. That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, I forgot where we were going with that. But
I was just
big
saying,
tangent.
follow me on x.com.
Oh yes,
underscore 54.
you awful
Yeah.
person, you. Okay.
Yeah, that racist Elon Musk platform.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. Follow me on Twitter too, because
No.
I'm also
Follow me on Twitter.
a bigot and
It's x.com, brother.
all that.
Formerly known as Twitter.
You know what?
Follow me on X, formerly.
I was there
That's its full name.
at the battle of
Full
the
name.
Twitter, battle of the Twit. I was there that day 3,000 years ago.
Yeah,
when
the full
Elon
name is X,
conquered.
formerly Twitter.
Dropped
That's how you're
what,
supposed to say it.
$40 million?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So, anyways, that's what I've been getting into. Warhammer. That's kind of been my
Yeah.
week. There's
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of
cool.
news surrounding some of my favorite game, but I don't need to get into that right now. We can get into that later.
Your
if you
favorite
want.
game, Star Wars Outlaws?
Yeah, how'd you know, dude? I forgot to say I'm playing Star Wars. No kidding.
Oh my gosh, I would
could you imagine?
actually be like, dude, I'm not making you do that. That's your own.
No,
fault.
that's on your own. Remember how I said it's personal? No, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some news going on, but I want to get to everybody else because I've taken up a lot of time already. So,
Yeah.
let's
20
let's see
minutes.
it.
Jeesh.
No.
Go
15.
away.
All right, let's
Go back
go.
to
Buffalo
X.
Vic.
Go back to Xing on
I'm gonna start you know, I'm gonna tweet how mad I am at you. Wait, is it still tweeting or is it Xing?
You're
I'm gonna
Xing.
X. I'm gonna X you.
Yes.
Xing.
All right,
Are you verified yet? Are you paying the
brother?
$10
I ain't
now?
paying for that shit yet. I thought about it though. All right, go ahead, Winslow.
Yeah. At least for the longer tweets, you know.
I don't tweet that long. I like to keep it short and sweet and punchy.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
Respect.
I digress.
Well, yeah, as was already mentioned, I was out for the last couple of weeks, out in the wilderness of Yellowstone, sleeping in
The
a tent.
Stones of
Listening.
Yellow.
Yes.
Sounds like something we're talking about today.
Literally hearing the elk and wolves like cry at night. It's a little.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
It was fun.
Fresh air.
Yeah. And then also I've been going through all the Alien movies. I'm now on.
Hey,
the 4th.
me too.
Nice. Yeah, I'm on.
I probably won't watch the 4th one.
Yeah, it's okay. Honestly, it's already started better than. Well, I don't know if it started better than the 3rd. The 3rd is rough. The 3rd is.
You know what? After seeing Romulus, though, Alien 3 is not that bad. It's actually okay. There's lots of bad things in it, but
yeah,
the beginning is kind of. I hate the beginning because like you're right off of Aliens. You're like, dude, you serious? You had to kill.
Right. The little girl and the guy.
The little girl. Who was the guy's name? Hicks. Hicks and.
Hicks.
And
no, not
what's
Ash.
her name? It's funny you said Ash because I've been watching Evil Dead.
Yeah, not Ash. Who was
the little girl? But yeah,
yeah,
I know. And did you know that there's an extended version of Alien 3?
I did not. No.
I stumbled upon this. Sorry to hijack your week here.
No,
but
that's right.
I stumbled upon it on 123 Movies because I couldn't find the actual. How did you watch it? Because I couldn't find it anywhere on like a streaming service.
It's on Hulu.
Oh, it's on Hulu. Okay, I don't have Hulu.
Yeah,
you know what? I do. Okay, so I started it on the 123 Movies. Then I couldn't get very far, and then I came back to it another day, and I realized I had Hulu. And I started. I'm like, wait, what is this? This isn't how it starts. I'm like, is this a different movie? And I was so confused because there's not an actual extended edition. It's called a certain cut. I forget what it's called, but anyways, it's like an extra 40 minutes of movie
on 123 or
on 123 Movies. Yeah, it completely changes the whole beginning. So in the real movie, the real cut, they basically all the guys come out there and they find them and they open it up and then they see Ripley survived, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the other one, Ripley washes up on shore and the doctor, what's his face? Tywin Lannister. He finds her and brings her into the area, and then they go out and search for the rest of them, the survivors, or the ship.
Right.
So it's got a completely different beginning. I don't know about the rest of the movie because I didn't compare the whole movies together, but I just watched like the first like 15, 20 minutes and they were completely different.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a plot hole in a way, the way that she got pregnant with the
it's definitely a
alien.
contrivance for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
like it could have happened. I don't think it's from, it was from the,
well, they say that the face hugger
yeah.
They say that she must have had it on her on the ship, but
Well,
that
they
would
kind of show you
imply
the quick shots though,
right.
and
But that would
you see it on her face.
That would imply that there's two of them then on the ship, because then the other one,
right? Because
then
they die as soon as
dog.
they hug you.
Yeah. Right.
Which is also weird because it is not it goes into a cow.
No, it goes into a dog.
Then why does it burst out of the cow?
See, I wonder if that is the difference between two versions, because I swear I remembered it out of a cow, and then I watched it.
I saw it burst out of a cow.
Okay, it was out of a dog in the one I watched.
No
So
way.
I was like,
These
what?
are like, that's funny because like normally extended editions are like just added on. This is like a completely different movie.
Yeah,
because they reshot scenes with this.
Yeah.
Because that was two different versions of how they found Ripley.
Yeah.
So that's bizarre.
It's like that one effect. What do they call that effect where you think something was one way?
The Mandela effect.
Yeah, the Mandela effect. Like, I swear it was this. Yeah. It was weird. Okay, so I'm not going crazy because I thought I remembered it being a cow, but it was a dog.
No, they call it the dog xenomorph though, like in the lore, like that's what the name of it's called. But it does burst out of a cow in the original. I assume that's the original cut then.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But
yeah,
there's fourth, and they somehow magically cloned her, and the alien magically was in her still. So
those movies, I wouldn't say plot holes necessarily, but definitely like a lot of contrivances. Like some of that stuff could happen, but it's just it's whatever. It's like, all right, this happened. Get over it. Okay, I guess so.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it a lot more than Romulus. Man, I was suffering through that one.
Yeah, I'm hoping that comes on Hulu soon, so I don't have to pay the theater to see it, and I can just watch it for free.
That is the nice thing about Stubbs and the A-list. I can watch as many bad movies as I want.
So the rest of us don't have to.
Pretty much. I've been seeing like every movie that's been coming out.
You have, bro.
Lately.
Go off. Are we gonna watch movies in Orlando?
We could. There's an AMC there, and I think. Oh, you know what? Florida might be one of the states you can't do it though. There are certain states you can't use it.
We're not sleeping. I don't
Pretty
know
much.
about you.
Yeah,
we're not sleeping.
We're gonna be out at Universal till like 3 a.m. 2 nights in a row.
Right to a movie.
Right to a movie afterwards.
Do a show. Like
do a stream really quick.
Warhammer. Who knows?
Hey, who knows? Whatever.
Sounds exhausting.
Sounds like fun, Nick. Fun. Fun. I think you meant to say fun.
I'm going to be tired though. I'm going to have to drink a lot of caffeine because I have a trade show, 3 days of a show that tires you pretty quick. And then
don't be a baby.
I won't. I refuse. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
any new anime? Any new anime that you've been?
Nope.
Demon Slayer? You should at least start.
I have not started it yet.
Let it capture you and pull you in.
Not that it's okay. Maybe I do have to catch up on Rings of Power. So
not a maybe.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
No.
Yeah, you know what? That is fair. That is fair.
No, you don't want us to be tortured. No.
I want to have you guys.
Precedent.
I want to be able to talk to people, not just talk at the screen the whole time.
Yes, fight over me.
I won't be alive to talk to if you make me watch it.
Well, sucks for you. Go follow him on Twitter. And
yeah, that's right. Look, I got a banner for us.
Oh my gosh.
Follow us on X.com, baby. Do it.
Nice.
That is so janky looking.
Yep. Do it.
Anyways,
It's supposed to
Not that it's
bottom,
a real anime, but Lauren and I have started Avatar: The Last Airbender.
oh,
So,
you know what? Great show. I love
That's a great
Avatar.
show.
So
there you go.
the Netflix adaptation, terrible. Just
awful.
terrible.
Yeah.
Just awful. You just finished Blue Lock. Trevor's one of those anime fans. He's been watching anime so long that all he has to watch now are like the new obscure ones. So I don't know Blue Lock. I've never heard of it. I'll look it up. I'm sure it's probably pretty good, but I just find it hilarious. Trevor talks about all these shows. I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing. But all right.
I don't know who you are.
Who do you think you are? Yeah. Flash.
I've just been working.
Saving people's lives throughout the
Pretty
multiverse.
much. Yep,
Yep,
pretty
You gotta
much.
do when you're the Flash.
No, I've
Great power comes great responsibility.
been prepping for Dad coming down to visit this weekend too. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
watching football. That's about it.
Nice. You know, I was so close to winning, to beating Nick to second place this week. If only I put Mayfield in instead of Geno Smith, I would have gotten an extra 10 points, and I would have
Yep.
beat you out.
Well,
But I
hey,
was like,
you
Geno,
won.
Geno's supposed to go off, you know?
Maybe,
least-
but I could have put Jamison Williams in and beaten you again.
Yeah,
so.
but I would have felt better about not leaving 30 points in my bench. So, but whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
imagine how
Yeah.
I feel with a combined like 5 points from my top 2 picks. It was just a
Oof.
terrible week for wide receivers.
Running backs are doing great though.
Oh yeah, running backs are fine. My running backs are good. My wide receivers will be fine. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
geez Louise, it was just rough.
unfortunately, Zach number 4 left like 30 points on the bench
Yeah.
at least.
Hey, at least,
least.
okay,
Fortunate
good.
for
I'm not
you, though.
alone. I'm not alone then.
Oh, very fortunate. He left Reed on the bench with 31 points as a wide receiver.
Oh jeez.
I was trying
Yeah.
to get Jaden Reed. He took him right underneath me.
Yep.
No,
And
not a
then,
true Bears
Godwin,
fan.
Godwin had 18. Ford, his running backs had over 10 points as well.
Yeah.
Jerome Ford.
Yes.
Team
And he had
Alliance.
DeAndre Swift. He had DeAndre
Oh.
Swift, and he only got 5 points because Bears offense doesn't run.
Well,
Yeah,
slash
DJ Moore didn't do anything for me.
Bears offensive coordinator sucks. Bears offensive line sucks.
They didn't pass either, but
But at least our
fair.
defense is good.
Yeah, 27 points.
Who has the Bears defense?
Nobody.
No one. I
Really?
was thinking about picking them up, but will it last? I don't know.
I doubt it. But I don't know.
Why
It
not?
could.
Could.
I thought about picking him up too.
Yeah.
I got
Zach,
lucky. I won without Christian McCaffrey playing.
Yeah, that's true. Team Alliance
Higgins- yeah,
mean
Higgins
nothing
was
in
out for me.
fantasy football for me.
Oh, it
doesn't
does
matter.
for me.
I'll take whoever is the best. Doesn't matter if they're the
No.
Green Bay Packers.
Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay Packers are not allowed on my teams.
I mean, Rodgers isn't great anyways, right? So,
Not
Well, he is-
anymore. But I'm saying even if he was,
yeah.
he would not be allowed on my team.
He survived his first game.
He did survive. He has played more this
good.
year than he did last year.
Yep.
But
Anyways,
no, that's about it. No, I don't really.
And that was our quick coverage of sports. Thank you.
Yeah.
sports edition.
Da, 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 da.
we like the screen like twirls and then like ding.
We need some stingers.
A football
Yeah,
across
we'll
his
need
screen.
we'll need the sports stinger for when Zach starts bringing up fantasy. Just
Da, da,
like, wait a minute,
da,
Zach.
da, da.
Sports.
Yeah.
We like sports.
Sports.
Talking
Yeah.
jocks.
Talking jock straps.
Just like scribbles out nerds, jocks.
Yeah. There's like a cup just hanging on the side of the words. It's just,
Ew. Ow.
ew, brother, ew.
Oh man.
All right.
Biggie, did you tell us our
Anyways.
week?
No, so I beat God of War finally, guys. I did it.
Yay! Yay!
Pretty much just in time. Thank you.
Yay!
Yeah, so I beat God of War on hard mode. I did it. Oh, bye, Flash. He's up.
He was not happy about it.
It's
Not
the
happy, Bob.
hero we deserve, but the hero we need. Yeah, so I beat it on hard mode. Then I had started playing. Oops. BRB. Okay, it was on purpose. So yeah, I beat it on hard mode. Then I fought the Valkyries, but man, oh man, they're very difficult. So yeah, I started with hard mode on them. One of them, I couldn't do it on hard mode, so I went to normal mode. I beat them, and then I switched to hard mode before it like officially like said that I beat her, so it restarted the whole fight over again. It was so sad. It was like 20, 30 minutes I spent on this, and then that happened. What a shame. Anyways, so I got one more Valkyrie to beat, and then I'm done. And then Ragnarok starts next week. Well, 2 weeks from now, but it comes out on PC next week, so I will be playing it in 2 weeks. Yes, so I did it just in time, so I'm super excited. But yeah, so I beat God of War. Again, I watched some of the Alien. I've watched Aliens, and Alien 3. I watched the Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness. So those are the 3 Bruce Campbell Evil Dead movies. Very, very campy and cheesy, but they're classics. They were pretty fun. I've never seen them before, but I liked them. So yeah, so spooky season is here. So I've been watching scary movies lately. I don't know what's next. Probably The Thing. Have you guys seen that?
I heard of it.
I think I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kurt Russell. It's classic. It's like a body horror, like practical effects and stuff. It's like an alien movie. So I'm probably gonna watch that next. But yeah. So mostly you've been watching a lot of movies. I finished season 6 of Doctor Who.
Oh, nice.
How many are there?
There are technically
How many do you count?
Okay, that are actually worth watching 10 seasons.
Oh.
But it goes beyond that, and that's where
so
it's just
long and
really bad.
excruciating.
That's new Who though. That's just new Who, but there's like old Who, which is like, what is that? 5 decades of Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Brother,
yeah.
How?
I don't know. I might actually watch the old Doctor Who at some point. When I get through a bunch of the shows I need to get through, I think I might go back and watch the old stuff. But yeah, so loving it. I'm on the last season of Matt Smith. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
It's all downhill from there.
Yep. Capaldi, I've heard, is okay. So I might not watch all of Capaldi because I do want to get to Star Trek next. I got to watch the original series. But yeah, so been watching a lot of Doctor Who, watching a lot of movies. I played some Diablo 4 again because it's good again now, I guess. So
I also started playing Diablo again, but
yeah,
Warhammer was more interesting to talk about. So
true. So yeah, I'm playing that on and off when I'm not playing God of War, pretty much. So yeah, I got a lot of games coming up. God of War, Ragnarok, the DLC. I got Ghost of Tsushima, and then probably gonna get into the Warhammer games at that point. Which was on. Oh, actually, I did want to play a Monkey game, Black Myth Wukong.
China game.
China game, which actually is good for a Chinese game. It's like the highest rated game on Steam of all time. Overwhelmingly positive. It's like 96, 97% overwhelmingly positive score. So it's got like 3-4 million, or probably 3 million concurrent players. Maybe a little bit less at this point.
That's a lot.
Well, that was peak.
No, that was peak. Yeah, it looks fun. It's kind of like a Souls-like looking game. The whole like story and lore is very Chinese Chinese what would you call that? Myths and legends, like kind of like
Chinese
Mythology.
right, but yeah, kind of like Greek mythology or whatever. It's I think it's like the gods and stuff like that. All those.
Like legend.
Yeah, but you play as this monkey. It's all like animals, which I don't really know Chinese mythology, I guess. So, but yeah, you play as a monkey.
I don't either, but I do know that animals play a large part in their mythology.
Right. Yeah. There's some dragons and stuff like that. So, yeah, you play as a monkey dude. And the combat looks great. It's not. I don't think you really watch or play it for the story. You play it for the combat and the gameplay. And it's in Chinese too, which is odd. Like you can do it dubbed, but it sounds really weird dubbed. So we'll see what I actually do. But yeah, I might play that if it goes on sale. I don't know if I'll necessarily buy it full price.
It always throws me off seeing it because like Wukong is a monkey champion in League of Legends.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's his name. So it always throws me off.
Yeah.
Hyped for Arcane Season 2.
I
obviously.
know. The new trailer came out, I think last week. Looked pretty good.
Yep.
Looks pretty great. Sadly though, I can't the voice actor who voices Jinx plays the main girl in a Fallout TV show, and I can't get that image out of my head. And she was not great in Fallout, so hopefully I can separate that. But
yep.
But yeah, and Jake Lloyd and myself, a friend of ours, Jake Lloyd, we went to the arcade one night and started playing Tekken, like old Tekken. And I'm like, oh, I kind of want to play fighting games now. Maybe they're a lot of fun. It's simple, you just got to learn the different combos, but it's kind of fun just to play around with friends, for a little bit. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll see.
I've always been bad at like Super Smash Bros. And Injustice.
Yeah, I feel like Super Smash is different though. That's just like that's like extreme fighting. You're all over the place. But yeah. So, anyways, that's what I've been doing. Lots of stuff. And of course, Rings of Power, which is what we're here to talk about today.
43 minutes into that. So.
Before we get into that, Cringe of Power Season 2.
There you go.
Before we get into that, though, I would just like to say rest in peace, James Earl Jones, the iconic voice of Darth Vader, Mufasa, and not just a great voice actor, but just a brilliant actor in and of his right. Like he was in a lot of live action stuff.
Sandlot.
And you could just, I mean, it's not just that his voice is awesome as Vader. He is Vader. Like he obviously wasn't the physical Vader, but like the way he performed it was so great that no matter how hard they try to come up with an AI version of his voice, or even people who are trying to impersonate it, they'll never get it down because like they're all just trying to just sound like Darth Vader, but you can't have the same inflections and the way he speaks. It's perfect. He's a great actor. And sad day for us all in nerdom.
I actually teared up a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, when I read the news.
Yep. So rest in peace. And kind of like Kevin Conroy dying. It's a sad day. The voice of our childhood.
Yep.
One of the iconic voices we heard growing up. But yeah, on that somber note, let's get to something even sadder. The abomination of Rings of Power. It's not just a bad show. It's not just poorly written. It's not just cringy. It is that stuff. It's also not just lore breaking on every level, but it's also just a giant ripoff of the Peter Jackson movies. So much so that at one point, Tom Bombadil, who by the way shouldn't even be in this age, also shouldn't even really care about any of this. he literally verbatim says a line that Treebeard uses from the Lord of the Rings movies. Exactly the same words. Everything is the same. Insane.
Which line was it?
It's the when Merry and Pippin are getting sucked in by the trees in the extended edition of Two Towers.
Yeah.
He says, I can't remember the whole line. Yes, be gone. Go to dig deep. Eat earth. Drink water. Go to sleep. He says that, right? In this, Ripoff Gandalf, who's called the Stranger, who basically
the Stranger.
We all know it's Gandalf. Gandalf gets sucked in by a tree, a tiny tree, and Tom Bombadil's like, "Oh yeah, do it." He has this weird accent. He's like from like.
Is that what's his name from Rebel Moon?
No, it's worse. It's the worst British accent I've ever heard in my life. That was Irish, but this was really bad. He's like, eat earth, dig deep, drink water. It was so bad. It was like Yorkshire, or I can't remember the exact region it's supposed to be from. But yeah, so that happens in like episode 3. But before we get to there, share my screen. Season 2 starts off with a flashback kind of sorts to events that take place before season 1, and it is the dawn of the Second Age and the Dark Lord Sauron, and it's so funny. They like
is this where he captures rats and makes a rat body?
Yes, but before we get to that,
Stranger Things season 3.
Yeah, right. Can you share my screen, Bluey?
Absolutely.
Thank you. We get a MacGuffin or of sorts. Hey, I remember that. That's Sauron's crown. You know that one, right? You know the one. Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Hold up. It's the crown of Sauron. Like, we didn't know he was already Sauron. Again, this is just the beginning of the ripoffs. But essentially, we see the crowns. We know we're going to Sauron, and then we see Sauron, and there's this X-ray thing, right? With Prime Video, it tells you who the character and the actor is. So it shows you this. First, it just shows you his name, but then it like says, it's not even doing it right now, but it basically says like fake Sauron or something like that, or not fake, but like a different version of Sauron. So you like literally already know. Yeah, you already know it's Sauron. No, it is actually Sauron, believe it or not. Even though he's a total. They picked the worst actor to do this because he doesn't seem powerful at all. He shows off some magic and stuff, but he doesn't actually seem like he's like the all powerful Sauron, Dark Lord, or anything like that. Here's the thing about the orcs. The orcs were enslaved by Morgoth to always serve him and Sauron, and so when Morgoth died, Sauron took over, and the orcs they had to serve him. They had no choice. But in this, they do have choice because orcs' lives matter. And
free choice, free will.
Yeah, they have free will. So in this, yeah. In this scene, we have Adar, who's the made-up character from season 1, who's supposed to be like in charge of the orcs, and he's basically kind of being an envoy for Sauron to these orcs, and Sauron is trying to plead his case to like get these people to join his dark army. Please. They're not really on board. By the way, they look okay. They're much improved from season 1. I will say that.
They're not all white.
They're not white anymore.
How on the nose was that?
There you go. Ford Wraith Sauron.
Frodo Wraith Sauron.
Frodo Wraith Sauron. Does this guy look like the Dark Lord Sauron? Not him. That's Adar. He honestly looks better. Oh, there's a great image of a female dwarf. I believe. I do believe.
You mean an orc?
Yes.
Female.
Okay, here he is. Does that look like the Dark Lord Sauron to you?
That looks like a Karen.
Yeah, he's very pretty.
I'm a beautiful Dark Lord.
Beautiful Dark Lord. So he's trying to basically convince the orcs to join his cause, and
Bro is giving me Lucius Malfoy vibes.
Yeah, they're not
But
not
in a good way.
Not in a good way. Yeah, they're not having it really, and they start getting a little restless, and one of the orcs tries to stab him. And he shows off his little powers, and he stabs the guy. He kills him. So you're like, oh, this guy's mean. He means business.
This guy's mean.
He's for real.
Around. He's for real. And
I'm for real.
So they're like, okay, all right, fine. We'll serve you. He's like, all right, good. And Adar's like, your new Dark Lord. And
The Dark Lord.
He pulls out the crown, and he's gonna put it on him. He turns around. He's putting it over him, and you're like, okay, what's gonna happen?
I know what happens.
I'm pretty sure I know what's gonna happen here.
Bro's about to get Julius Caesared.
He looks down. I hope there's no copyright here.
Is he gonna flip
Just
it?
go
Oh,
for
I
it.
knew it. I knew it.
Just go for it. Go for it. Just send it. Just send it. All the way through. Yeah. Yeah.
The Dark Lord Sauron, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what we all wanted to do this whole
And they're like, yeah, this guy sucks. Kill him. And they do. They kill Sauron. The orcs kill Sauron.
Interesting.
So it's a bloody pile. They just go. There's a lot of like squelching
Looks
noises.
like meat's back on the menu, boys.
And then they're like, stop. All right. I was like,
I ain't done.
I'm not done yet.
Just
A mouthful.
I bit off the flank.
He don't need his legs.
So they're like, no, orcs' lives matter. We don't want a party award. By the way, this is a theme that continues throughout the season. The orcs have rights. They have families now. The little orclings. And they don't want to fight for Sauron.
Save the orclings.
They'd rather not fight, to be honest. They just want to be left alone and safe in their
Orc
homes.
lives matter.
So Adar's like, I'm the Dark Lord now. But he does something magical, and he becomes an ice storm because he touches him. And then Sauron goes, and then we get this like, and that's how we get the beginning of season 1, ladies and gentlemen. Now it kind of begs the question: if there's this giant, scary looking castle that all this ice came out of, do you think maybe that'd be the first place Galadriel should look for Sauron?
No.
And yet she's been searching for 1,000 years or something like that for Sauron. And that I don't remember exactly the amount of time, but a long, ridiculous amount of time. And she's finally finds this place, and then she kills an ice troll in under 10 seconds by herself.
Don't question her intellect.
Galadriel. So he does his little icy thing, and somehow everybody survives, I guess. All the orcs are like, ugh, what happened?
Ugh.
Brother.
That's how the orcs became white, I guess. So you're like, oh, his body disappeared. He must be dead, right? Now I'm the Dark Lord. But then we get a little pan down, and then we get Gooey Sauron.
Yummy.
And he's all bloody now. And his blood kind of drips down into
becomes
the mountain.
The Balrog of Morgoth.
They really roll their R's in this show. It's kind of it's agonizing to listen to be honest. It's makes my ears bleed, but he becomes this little puddle, and you can tell they're going for the whole Smeagol scene. Like everything in this show is a ripoff of something from Lord of the Rings. And this little rat, this poor little critter, he's just trying to find food, you know. The orcs have been invading his home, and you know, they've been rioting a lot, looting,
eating his
stealing,
brothers.
Yeah, random stuff. And so he's just trying to find some food. And poor little guy, he gets a little too close to the water. Oh, whop. Then we got ringworm Sauron.
And
he does this a few times. He eats a couple things, and then he kind of becomes this, like, what would you call that? Ghillie suit?
That's a good description.
And then he's like kind of this glob searching for light. And then he decides that, you know, I've been cooped up for a while. I want to have some fun. I don't get out very often, so I'm going to go sledding. So he decides he's going to slide down the hill a bit. Oh, I missed it. Well, I ruined it. He comes out, and he does a little sloop.
Sloop. Nice.
Sloop. Slurp.
But that's it. He just stops there.
So then he comes down to the edge of the mountain, and he kind of just like, this was like the most riveting part of the episode. He's just crawling. He's not quite human yet. He's just kind of this formless wormy thingy.
Those look like footsteps in his path. Kind of.
And then he.
Oh, I guess he does kind of have hands.
Kind of has some form.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know what's going on.
Rats are good protein. I mean, they really will build you up.
I guess so. I just love how he climbed up on this rock and then flopped down the other. This is some Obi-Wan. This is some Obi-Wan action right now. You know, like the fence. He couldn't go around the fence. He had to figure out how to get over the fence, even though he could just walk right around.
Yeah.
This is an Obi-Wan moment. But then goody, we get this this little and he's up, and she's like, what? Now it's kind of weird that this random lady's just kind of out in the winterland, but she is, and he goes up there, and then he eats her, and then we get Halbrand.
Oh yay!
And you definitely know they're trying to thirst trap him here. Like, oh man, look at him! Look at the way he's looking. This is so dumb that this is supposed, like, it's continuation of the victimization of Sauron. Like, you got to feel bad for him. He's an outcast now. You know, he was just a helpless little slime ball. And now, you know, he's this lonely guy just out there in the wilderness. Feel bad for him. Bizarre. This whole season.
He's Satan. In this world, he is Satan.
Technically, Morgoth is Satan, but he's like, He's like Satan's right hand man, essentially.
Yeah.
He's evil.
Yeah.
But he's been through a lot, so we can give him a break. I mean, dang. So Halbrand's walking around doing his brooding, and he stumbles upon these people. And if you remember from season 1, he had this stupid little pouch, right? And Galadriel's like, "What's that pouch mean?" He's like, "It's nothing." And she's like, wait a minute. That's like this like thing from the Southlands, like that's like royalty. So you must be the king of the Southlands then, right? And he's like, "No, I'm not." She's, "No, you definitely are. You should be king of the Southlands." Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
He stole it off some random guy that he found on the road. And
Who wasn't the king of the Southlands?
who wasn't the king of the Southlands? Yeah.
Just to be clear.
Because
Just
guess
some random
what?
guy.
The Southlands never had a king to begin with.
I just love that in season 1 they couldn't figure out. Sauron wrote his entire plan down on some random scroll in Numenor, and nobody noticed for hundreds of years. And all they had to do was turn a map sideways. Oh, Sauron's symbol is the map of Mordor.
Oh my gosh!
What?
It's so obvious it isn't.
Yeah. So he meets this guy, and the guy's just randomly really nice to him. And he's like, you should like basically giving this like motivational speech of like, nobody's ever truly lost, all this stuff. Everybody has a place. There's nothing for you over there. You should come with us. And he's like, that's what he does, actually, right there. He doesn't really say much. He makes that face a lot, which is kind of important because you can't really tell what he's thinking really from that, but also I should probably put subtitles on. There, okay. There's a place across so remember how we found him at the beginning of season 1?
Yes, lost in the sea.
Yeah, can you guess how we're gonna get there? Yeah, okay. This was a pointless 20 minutes, actually. Just telling you how he got onto this random boat. Nothing extraordinary happens. He said, "Come with us if you like." And so he does. Because he's nice, Sauron, now.
Yeah.
And then he's just kind of staring. This guy doesn't know him at all. And what does he say? Well, he says, my timing is off. Well, there's this little monster. He says,
Are you right? No.
Nightmares again?
Nightmares again.
I'm sorry.
Again?
Again? I'm sorry. How do I know you? Like, how does he look at that face that he barely knows that has the same expression and says nightmares again?
The way he's sitting too is
I
a
know.
little seductive.
I'll give you my trinket if you are nice.
Oh, very progressive.
Yeah, and then and Sauron's like, you have to choose it again. It's just, it's so stupid. And then he's just like, basically he's like, he's trying to give him this motivational speech of like, like we're never truly we're never truly lost. Like, you can find your path again, And he doesn't even know he's talking to the Dark Lord Sauron, whose path is evil. And it's funny because he was literally going to give up. And this guy gave him some motivational speech to be like, you should be who you truly are, like, don't give up on your dreams. And Sauron's like, yeah, maybe you're right. And Sauron's like, he's trying to be all nice because I guess he's nice now. He says, grab a hold of something, like that'll help. Grab a hold of something, and then something hits the boat. This monster. And he was being really nice to him. He said he warned him, and then the guy gets pinned under something, and nice Sauron is no more, because he takes the trinket and doesn't say anything and doesn't look back. He just grabs it and leaves. I guess he's not nice anymore.
That's actually very characteristic of him.
Or uncharacteristic of the character that we've been seeing here for the last 20 minutes, but I guess he found his way again. Who knows?
Do we know what 11 Kings Under the Sky means, or will we learn?
It's Elven Kings.
Oh.
I was like, wait, what are you talking about? 11 Kings? No. Elven Kings,
Okay.
yeah.
Huh.
Then he's underwater and there's giant creatures doing his thing, and for some reason it doesn't eat him, I guess. It just runs away.
It's because he's evil.
Because he's just emanating evilness.
Right.
He's emanating darkness.
And so he climbs up, and so we basically get a reenactment of the openings for Galadriel meeting Sauron in season 1. But if you remember, they really tried hard to hide him as Sauron, even though we all kind of knew that he was Sauron right off the bat, because then like, this guy's sketchy, like who else could he be? But he seemed pretty nice when she met him, but no more. We are retconning that scene, because now we know who he is. And by the way, there's other people now, I guess. When we first met him, there was only him, but I guess there's other people now.
No, there are other people.
I don't remember.
Really?
Yeah, because he ran away from him, remember? And she like gets onto him for abandoning his friends, but she also abandoned them.
Oh, well, that tracks, I guess.
Yeah,
that's fair. But she jumps up and he's like suddenly all evil looking. Does that guy look very trustworthy to you? No, not really.
Yeah, I'm getting on a raft with that dude.
And he says some like ominous stuff too. That's like probably concerning if you heard it. And she's just
what
like,
the heck are you talking about, man?
Listen, all I want to say is they could have easily just used the first shoot from. Like, this wouldn't be a problem if they just used the first shoot from the first season.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't have to reshoot this. It's like, save money. Maybe go down to 59 million an episode. Like,
right.
Right. That's an evil look right there.
Instead, we get this because we got a foreshadow. He's evil. So, Rings of Power, season 2. All right. So that's our flashback. So now we're caught up to present day. If you remember, here's the problem, right? Sauron deceived everybody. Nobody actually knew he was Sauron until after the rings were made, right? They didn't know. But instead, in this show, they do know because Galadriel knows, except she didn't bother telling anybody about it. And so instead, she knew that he was Sauron. She knew that he was evil, and she still made these rings of power. Now, the show writers don't actually know Lord of the Rings. They just kind of know things about it. So they think, okay, rings of power, they must all be like the One Ring then. So all the rings now are evil. All the rings are evil. They all have the same exact power set as the One Ring. And they randomly give you visions of evil things happening. Okay, so what actually happened was Sauron disguised himself as Anatar the elf, and he made the 5 rings for the dwarves, then the 9 rings for the men, and then he left and made the 1 ring in secret, and then they found out who he was, and the elves in secret then made the 3 rings, the rings that are in this show, 3 elven rings. So they were made in secret, separate from Sauron. Sauron had literally no part in them at all, and so they were exempt from evil. That's why the elves didn't turn into wraiths. So kind of an important part of the lore.
Yeah.
But they don't know about
these rings were influenced by Sauron, according to this show.
Exactly, because he was there well, he wasn't technically there when they were made, but he told them how to make them. Yeah, he told the master elf Smith what an alloy was.
He goes, "Hey, you ever heard about mixing metals?
You heard of this mixing metal? What is this?
I'm
Dark
sort of
magic.
I'm sort of a mixologist myself.
Mixologist.
You should probably mix it up with something else to make it go further. You know?
Do you know how to hammer? I can show you how to hammer if you want.
Yeah,
brother. That's a screwdriver. Let me show you power tools.
Just like rings of power tools.
Rings of power tools. The tools come in the cast. Rings of power tools.
Yeah, so there's a little backstory for you and kind of how it's all kind of screwed up here.
And one thing I want to jump in here. One thing that I've learned with my recaps that I watched today, admittedly, I just watched them today. Okay. One thing that I learned, and the disrespect is unreal. There are like a lot of things in this show that should not be happening in this time period. Like a lot of things. That is one of them, right? The order in which the rings are created. But like Gandalf really shouldn't be anywhere.
None of the wizards or Eastar were there at this point, and nobody knows what that term means, and they're using it in this show.
Yeah. Well, the regent queen of Numenor is not actually born yet. She's like 1,000 years earlier than when she's actually born. So like there's just like a lot of inaccuracies according to timeline. And I feel like timeline is probably the easiest thing to stick to, right? Like if you get your timeline right, you know,
Tom Bombadil isn't here yet either.
Right. He shouldn't be here. But like just like season 1, even like there's so many inaccuracies. But if I'm gonna write a story off of source material that has like a strict timeline of things that are happening, like I'm gonna stick to the timeline, and I'm actually probably gonna come out with a pretty half decent story just sticking to the timeline. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Right. I mean, either find ways to mess it up, but still,
that's crazy talk right there.
Stick to the timeline, guys. Like this is the second age. Even I know that, and I'm not a Loader fan. Come on.
We're probably only get through episode 1 tonight.
Well, yeah, because it's an hour long of nothing.
So. Also, there's Barrow Whites that show up in episode 3 or 4, I think. They didn't exist yet at this time, and Galadriel, of course, being the all-knowing, all-powerful Mary Sue that she is, she knows exactly what they are too. She's like, "Oh, those are Barrow Whites." So we'll get to. She's not totally insufferable until about episode 4. Then it gets really bad.
I just look at her and I'm like suffering. Okay, question.
Yes.
Have you checked the Lord of the Rings like wiki pages? Are they like retconning the wiki pages for this show?
I have not, but it doesn't really matter because the wiki is the books. So
no, I know, but like is the wiki like the people writing
I don't know if they're really I don't know if there is a wiki to be honest. I don't know.
There's got to be. There's a wiki for everything.
I know there's I mean there's
we could create a wiki.
I don't know. There's the onering.net. They do a lot of stuff. I don't know if they keep like lore and stuff, but it's pretty much just
I ask
Tolkien scholars who are
like when Star Wars stuff comes out, like the new Disney stuff, they like retcon the wiki.
Right.
They change.
Yeah, that's what we talked about with Acolyte.
And so I hope they're not doing this with Lord of the Rings because we literally have like this is covered in the books.
It doesn't matter though because they can't rewrite because this isn't canon technically. You know, they don't have access to that. All they really have access is the appendices and references, I guess, to characters and stuff and stories. They're basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to what's the word I'm looking for? They're trying to redo the Jackson films.
Reimagine
in the Second Age. Yes. So they're the events of the Second Age, but shoved with things that happen in the Third Age. And again, that's like stealing all the lines. They steal choreography from the Peter Jackson movies baby Shelob shows up and does the exact same fight with the Sealdor that she did with Sam.
Wait,
And
actual Shelob?
Yes, they confirmed it. It's Shelob.
Oh my gosh.
But we'll get to that eventually.
That's freaking
yeah,
ridiculous.
so this happens. Basically, Elrond's not fond about the rings, but to be fair, she lied to everybody when she told them to make it, and he found the scroll that basically says he's Sauron, and so he knows. But again, nobody's telling the king or any of the elves. Maybe that's impertinent information. We should probably tell them that. So he steals the rings.
It's
I don't know
her
how
burden to bear.
Yeah, I don't know how this happened, but somehow he stole the rings, and now they got a little chase going on. I just love that they picked Morfydd Clark, this 5'7", 6, and Galadriel's supposed to be 6'3", and she's not supposed to be this warrior princess. She's supposed to be a powerful lady, dignified lady. Yeah, it's so insulting. So she's chasing him, and he decides to randomly put the rings on his belt where she could grab the rings instead of maybe putting them in a secure place. And so there's all these moments where she's just kind of she's an inch from it, and she could easily grab him, but for whatever reason, he doesn't do anything about it. And so he gets ahead of her. And so they get into this to basically, I forget what this place is called, but this is basically
Commander
where
Galadriel scourge the orcs.
Yeah,
warrior in the north.
Yeah, did I tell you I killed an ice troll in under 10 seconds?
Also, I just looked up the one wiki. It does not look like they're changing the wiki to match up with the events of Rings of Power. I looked up Isildur, his story. Because he's in season 1 a lot.
He's in it more in this season, and let me tell you, it's rough.
They have not. I looked up at his time in Numenor, and it seems pretty clean, from what I can tell. So,
in at least you talking on the wiki, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Not in this show. He shows up in places that he's never showed up ever in the history of Lord of the Rings.
Right. And he's also a pansy, like every other male.
And there's that too. He meets this girl, and you could tell they were trying to ship them right away. And then
he has a wife and kids.
Not a day later, the Rings of Power official Twitter account posts, "Yeah, we ship them," and then pictures of them. This is what happens when you put Twilight fans in charge of things.
Remember when they were shipping Galadriel, and she's got a husband at this time?
Oh yeah, he's just missing randomly.
Yeah, they're shipping her and Sauron, which is crazy.
Where in the world is Celeborn? Yeah.
Anyways,
that's all these people care about. They don't care about this. This is the audience. The target audience is manliness, badass characters that men love. That's the target audience. This is just a show full of shipping random weak men with strong women, and then having this Mary Sue who can't do anything wrong. By the way, there are no consequences, and we'll get to it. There are literally 0 consequences. There's a couple, but nothing major for what she did in terms of lying and creating the rings and all that.
Next thing you know, she's gonna come out as bi or something.
Biladriel.
Biladriel. Gender fluid ladriel. Bilateral ladriel.
Biladriel.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Gay ladriel.
Gay ladriel, yeah.
Hey, I gotta bounce. It's way too late for me to be up.
No worries. The multiverse needs you. So
I'll talk to you guys later.
See you later.
Peace.
Bye.
So lesbian.
You couldn't handle all the LGBT jokes. LGBT ladriel.
LGBT lateral. LGBT adjacent lateral. So this is basically the kingdom where the king is of the elves, and she's being summoned. And I swear this guy is only ever at this tree. We only ever see this dude standing next to this tree. I don't know where else.
King
I don't know how he eats.
Gilgalad.
I don't know how he sleeps. He's just always at this tree.
I like how Nerdrotic says high regional manager Gilgalad. That's pretty good. High regional manager Gilgalad, because that's exactly what Galadriel does when she like gets home. She's like, "Take me to the king. Take me to see your manager. I want to see your manager. High manager Gilgalad.
I'd like to see your manager, please."
Yeah, she's such a Karen.
Everywhere she goes, she wants to see the manager.
I know.
Effing Karen.
He comes up
Karen
with some great
Ladriel.
names. He comes up with awesome names. But she's trying to make her case, and Elrond just informed me that you know who Sauron is. By the way, this guy looks like Brad Went, doesn't he?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
no.
Good night, Trevor.
Just hit me.
Baby.
Good night, bro. Peace out.
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh, look at that face.
Ugh.
You're not
Ugh. Get it off my screen. Ugh.
And so she's like,
Yes.
"Yes, I did." And she's like,
Why do
"You
dance?
must- if I would never knowingly endanger our kind, so I just made the rings
you
that the
did.
evil guy told us to make."
You literally did.
But you did. And so he's like, "You're grounded." And she's like,
Oh no. Hi, regional manager. No.
blinded by your own pride. I mean, you know what? Based. This is great. This is great stuff.
Is Gilgalad based?
Gilgalad, Gilga based, and she's
Gilga based?
Gilga Chad.
Gilga, there you go.
Giga Glad. He's a Giga Glad.
Gilga Chad.
So he's just, this is about the only repercussion she ever gets. And
it's just like a slap on the wrist.
Right, exactly. So basically he's like, we don't know how far Sauron has influenced Celebrimbor in the making of these rings. We cannot use these rings. We don't know what happened with them. So
Elrond literally looks like a Gen Z high schooler.
I know.
Yeah.
The haircut. The haircut.
Again, this would have never happened if you followed the rules of the book and what actually happened with these rings.
I know.
Sorry, just had to throw that out there.
Yeah, so he's basically like, we can't use these rings, but give them to me.
Share the load.
He obviously likes rings. You could tell by his very his
decorated hands.
infinity gauntlet there. He's got going
Bro is a ring hoarder.
Yeah. And so he's like, give them to me. And he kind of, through this conversation, shifts from blaming Galadriel for what she did to actually kind of going onto her side and saying, we do need to use these rings because these are about the only thing that we can use against Sauron. And so it's just the tables have turned. He just goes 180, completely 180 on this. And he's like, the ring must be destroyed. Cast it into the fire. Sealed up. And he's like, no, the rings are mine.
That decision is far above your privilege. It's my privilege
I
as regional high manager.
I have the white privilege. You do not. And he says, give them to me. And of course,
more privilege than you.
Of course, Galadriel's like, obey him.
Do it.
Yeah, like she would do that.
Right.
Obey someone? Not her.
And he says, I cannot. And then he leaps off the edge. And then, okay, so where do you think this is, guys?
Mount Doom?
Probably
a good guess. I'd say you're pretty close. Let's check.
Survey says.
Oh.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh,
we're in
hey,
Mordor. Remember in season 1 where it said Southlands and then it disappeared and then it says Mordor.
Mordor. That's the best reveal I've ever seen in cinema. That's $60 million
unknown planet.
Unknown planet. So
unknown volcano.
You remember the old guy, right? Who created Mordor by putting a sword into what do you call those? What do you call those like traps that like you set off one thing and then it sets off something else?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I can't.
Yeah, like use like dominoes and marbles and all sorts of different things.
Mousetrap.
Whatever those are called. It was basically that, because the orcs dug these trenches for this system that randomly existed, that you needed a sword to put into the ground to put water into the volcano to create steam and ignite into this volcano and create Mordor.
The Rube Goldberg machine.
Yes, that one. Exactly. So yeah, you remember that old guy, right? That random old guy who created Mordor. Well, now he's Lord Mordor, Lord, and he's Adar's right-hand man, I guess. So we go Sauron. Remember he like went to Mordor at the end of season 1? Well, now he just turned himself in. All right,
but
what's he up
Adar
to?
killed him at the beginning of this episode.
Well, we don't know what he looks like though. This is Halbrand. This isn't Frodo Wraith Sauron. This is Halbrand Sauron.
My bad.
This is different.
I forgot.
And so he's walking around, and we get to Adar. And there's Lord Mordlord himself over there.
Wow.
He's really made a name for himself here in the Southlands.
Good.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well for himself.
Better than the guy.
Does he have a nice orc wife? Does he have a nice orc wife?
You know, he's working on it. He's talking to Glug in HR. Glug's really interested in him.
Okay. Wow.
But the problem is Frug is also interested in Glug. So there's kind of a love triangle going on right now. And Flug doesn't like Mordlord over here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
Mordlord has all the power. So, you know, he's kind of the manager around here. So.
Fair enough.
Waldreg is his name. So. Waldreg. So
Greg.
He announces basically they have to.
This guy's about to get stabbed. Oh no!
What happens next?
Hey,
let's find out. All right.
Oh yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're like, you need to, submit to. Look at this
lad.
Oh,
Skinny Gilgalad.
Skinny Gilgalad.
That was Helder's big role.
Yeah, Helder. That sounds more like Lord of the Rings name than Skinny Lad.
Helder got $1 million
used his real name.
million budget for the episode.
Yeah. So they got to submit to Adar. If they don't, they die. And then we get this guy. Whoa, who's this guy? Well, this is Glug. This is Glug. This is Glug over here. Glug's got a family. We'll find out in a couple episodes. And he's like, I can go to the elves. The elves trust me. So, and I know something you don't. I know that Sauron is back, and I can take you to him. And he's just like, yeah, right. And so he's basically, we defeated them, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing they can do. There's no one left to fear. And he still thinks Galadriel's on her side. Still thinks he can treat with them. So we get a little exposition here. Not really, but he's trying to barter. If you kill me, everything I know dies with me. Classic. And then he gets taken to there's Waldreg. He's really, he's really just kind of living his best life over here. He's spitting in people's face and all this stuff, slapping them and all that. And then we get an orc that's scared of Sauron. Glug just wants his family safe, and so Glug is a little scared, and he's like, "No, it's not possible. Sauron's dead." All right, so
inspection.
Then we get knockoff Gandalf. He's running around out in the wilderness, the stranger, as they call him, and he keeps looking at the stars, and he's trying to figure out where he came from, all that stuff, and he keeps having these dreams of a stick. What do you think that's all about?
Oh, does it have a pipe in it?
Maybe. I don't know. It looks kind of familiar, and he kind of wants to touch it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Floating?
It's a floating stick. But every time he touches it, he wakes up. It's not real. And then we get our favorite characters.
Nightmares again?
Oh yeah, you remember that? Yeah, nightmares again. You had that dream again last night, didn't you? I could tell from your facial expressions. That was the same face he's been making the entire show. But Nori can tell. She knows him. And so you remember that scene? Well, first of all, we get these weird looking creatures who definitely look very Tolkienian. If I've ever seen Tolkienian characters. So they're being followed, and they see these trees, and they're like, "Oh, we need food." And you remember that thing that happened in season 1 where he basically created, he tried to use magic, and it like exploded and all that stuff, and Nori got hurt, all that jazz. Well, she's like, "You should do it again because we need food, and like maybe you can grow some plants." Or maybe they look at the tree, and so you're like, okay, they want it like fruits or something. So he's like, "Stand back, Nori, stand back." Oh my gosh, she's so obnoxious. He does some magic, and he's trying to get something going on, and then the tree kind of explodes. So that didn't work. Like, oh dang, they didn't get food. But she sure is happy because we got beetles. We're gonna eat beetles.
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
which I was like, okay, is this like some subtle messaging or something that we all gotta eat bugs or something?
Bill Gates was involved in this
Bill Gates,
episode.
are you there? Come back. Get out of here. Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of grossed out that she's excited about some bugs. So they eat some bugs. This is probably the most. This is like if Merry and Pippin scenes are obviously the most boring part of Lord of the Rings, but they're still fantastic and great, and I actually want to watch them. This is like the worst parts of Lord of the Rings, but like unwatchable. I actually like was zoning out in these. I was just kind of staring at the screen. I wasn't taking anything in at this point. But he's just talking about his stupid dream. He's like, I can't touch the stick. What's going on? And I love that they're trying to like Gandalf was like the mentor for Frodo, right? But in this, Frodo's the mentor to Gandalf now. Gandalf's kind of an oaf, and he needs to figure stuff out, and Nori's going to be the one that helps him. He needs her. And then we remember that one scene from the beginning of Lord of the Rings where Sam's hiding in the bushes, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that later. First, we get a very bad CGI looking warg. Looks really bad. Again, like one of the most expensive shows of all time. And this is what we got. This warg is very hungry. And Sauron's scared a little bit, but not scared. It's kind of like first date. He's a little confused. And Waldreg comes in, and he's like being a little bit of a prick, because he's in the position of power. He's getting a little bit too fancy for his britches, and he's like, "You got to tell me about Sauron because Adar actually doesn't really care." And so he spills the food and all that jazz, and Sauron is like, "I'm gonna make friends with this warg." So he feeds the warg instead of eating it. And we get this nice little scene. The warg jumps and grabs the food. And Sauron's made a friend.
Oh.
So sweet. But we'll come back to him. Before that, though, we get to this place, which seems to be this boat, they make boats here, essentially, for the elves. And Elrond is there. He washes up and he talks to this guy who's, what do you think his sexuality is?
Zim.
Yes, exactly. But this guy's like this master craftsman of the elves, and he's very well regarded. And he walks into the thing, and he knows that Elrond is there. So he talks to Elrond, and he's like, "We need to destroy these rings," basically. And before we get to that, the High King, Gigachad, he wants to send a letter to Celebrimbor to basically warn him about Sauron. And they put it in the hands of that elf.
Very confused looking fellow.
Yeah, the elves don't look like elves in this show at all, by the way, too. They are all either very overweight, very inexperienced. Elves are supposed to be majestic, light on their feet, expert warriors, expert marksmen. None of that in here. The only one who's actually worth anything is Galadriel. So they could probably give it to an eagle or something to fly it over, but instead they give it to this person. And this person's going to be trusted with this top secret, kind of, emergency information. But he's like, I don't trust you, but we're aligned right now in what we want. So we need to test these rings. So they haven't found the rings. And I love this part. They're like, perhaps the fault. No. Elrond lives. It's like, okay. Sure. How do you know that?
I got a feeling.
I just know. Meaning, spoke of destroying the rings. So I know exactly where he's going to go to destroy the rings. So we already know where he's going. So it's just like so predictable. It's like she knows everything. That she can't do anything wrong. She's like, I know where he's going. I know what he's going to do. I got it all. Let's go. So they do. That's what happens. And they go. And this guy's like, okay, as you say, whatever. We must destroy them. So he leaves. And then they get there really fast.
Hyperspace.
And she's kind of grounded, but she tells the High King, "No, stay here. I'll talk to Elrond. I got this. Let me handle this." Elrond's looking a little sus over here. She comes up to him. She's like, "We must trust, or all will be lost." And he's like, "Nah." And he basically calls her out straight up. He's like, "Yeah, you're kind of tempted to the darkness, And she's like, "No." But it's true. And then we find out this guy's out on a boat. And then we get back to this guy. And then We get Samwise.
Poppy.
It's like the little scene. You remember? You know the scene. It's like that one.
You know, the thing.
Poppy, proud fella.
It's a member berry. Member?
I remember. And so she brought food, of course, because Samwise always has food. So does Poppy. So they brought the food, and now, you know, we're better off because we have the song. You remember the song? The song is back. The song is back in all its glory. And Gandalf's like, sing it to me. No, please don't. Please do not sing the song. And they're walking, and this is the land of Rune, which is basically a desert.
That's nice. They wrote it in the ground.
Right. It's like, because, you know, on the map, it's always written on the ground. So we're basically getting that bird's eye view. And yeah, so this is a desert, but it's dangerous. So we're not going to walk. We don't walk off the path. We never leave the path. And
who's going to leave the path? Probably Poppy.
I just love how he kind of just does whatever the little hobbit halfling, the gross, dirty halflings tell him what to do. And then this guy's like tempted. He's being tempted by the rings because they're the one rings in this universe. And so he's like, yeah, no, I think I'm going to keep these. And then we get back to Adar. I mean, this is all really boring stuff, so it's really not worth talking about, honestly. But he's just like, you know, I can help you, and I'll serve you. He's like, you got to swear it, and he's like, I'll get down on your knees, basically, and kiss my feet, tell it to my feet, and so he does. And you know what he says? He says, I vow. Wait, hold on. We got to get down to the feet. That's important because he has an evil smile. We can't let Adar see the evil smile. He says, first we got to get the long evil stare. I vow to serve the Lord of Mordor.
Ooh.
Little Trixie there. To the end of my days. And his. And then we get the little smiley grin. Evil grin. Obviously, he's talking about himself, if you can tell, because the audience is stupid and can't pick up on these things. Yeah. Very riveting. Oh, there's a smile. He can't help himself. He's evil after all. Then he leaves, and what do you think? What do you think happens to Waldrig?
He finds a wife and starts a family.
Nope. He finds the warg, actually, and he dies. That's the end of Waldrig.
Wow.
And then we hear Waldrig screaming. Ah! And he's just like, heh, heh, heh. Just smiles. That seems a little out of character for Sauron. If he's trying to get them on his side, and then he just kind of kills some random, and just, you know, is running away. Basically, he came here to be on their side, and then he just kind of lets the right hand man guy die. It's just stupid. It's just so stupid. But anyways, the rings. They get the rings. And Elrond's not happy. He comes back with the rings. They drop the rings.
Oh, shoot. Dropped it.
And of course, one of the rings has to fall right in front of Galadriel.
Nice.
So she gets a ring just because it fell right in front of her. So
Wow.
I guess that the ring chose her. I guess I don't know.
It came to us.
Yes, precious. So she gets a ring. All right, I guess we're trusting her now with this power. Okay, fine. And he puts it on his menagerie of rings over here.
That's not gonna fit over that knuckle. Come on.
And then, so how do you kind of show rings? Do you do it do you do it like this? Do you guys go like this when you're showing your ring off?
No, you go like this.
Yeah, or like, here's my ring. Nope, that's not the right way to do it. Where is it? Dang it. I can't find it now. Basically, we get this little shot. Oh, here it is. Found it. Okay, so the tree comes back to life because their rings of power. Oh, wow, we saved everybody. So, like, okay, cool. We don't have to leave after all. And Elrond's not happy. And then we get this great shot.
Wow, we're in a club now.
And you can tell they were like kind of like holding it for a while because their arms are like
Hold.
Who does that? Just kind of sitting there, looking at the rings.
Wow, yours is so beautiful.
Oh my gosh,
you.
it's sparkling
Wow.
so much right now. Wow, it's like the light just hitting
Wow.
it at the best angle. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so everybody's saved now. And I just love how quickly the tree just like kind of like comes back to life because they put the rings on. Guess that's how it works. And Elrond's not happy. And then we get to see a little glimpse of the forge where Celebrimbor is. And we're getting to work on some stuff. And he says, well, there's this guy who's here who came and showed up. That was quick. Wasn't he just in Mordor?
Bro's got a portal.
I guess so. He shows up, and of course we know that Celebrimbor doesn't know that he's Sauron yet. Right? Okay. So he's like, I'm here. But he also was told by Galadriel not to trust him. So he's not going to trust him. I'm not going to let that sneaky guy get to me this time.
Not gonna let him.
Not
I'm not gonna
again.
trust
Not
him.
again. I know I'm gay, obviously.
Because Galadriel told
but
me. So I'm not gonna tell him.
Nordrada calls him Grandma Celebrimbor or Celebrimbor.
Yeah.
He's like, oof, man, what a tall, dark, and handsome over there.
Ooh. Take everything in
I
me.
can fix him.
I can fix him.
There's nothing like my ex.
There's, I guess, that's one nice thing about this show. It looks nice at times.
Yeah, the setting.
They probably could have gotten better ring props, though. Those kind of look like those toy ones you get at like Chuck E. Cheese or something. And
Nah, they look like the 25-cent gumball dispenser one.
Might as well gotten ring pops.
Ring pops, yeah, something like that. And that's it. That's the end of the episode. Whew. Definitely the longest episode so far. The most boring. But yeah, so we're kind of building up for the season. What's gonna happen? Where are our favorite characters at? So
I think Galadriel should die.
I still think
right.
My favorite character, Isildur, is dead. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
No, he was in the trailer, remember?
No. Stop it. He died. We don't know if he's alive. That could have been a flashback.
True. But yeah, there's our mid-season review. Just kidding. Episode 1. This is probably gonna take us a while to get through, but that's okay.
Yeah, because it's so awful.
because
Stop
it's so
it.
awesome. It's so awesome. There's so much to talk about. So this is not the worst stuff. This was boring stuff, but it's not the worst stuff. It's not the most lore breaking stuff either. It gets far worse than this. So we're excited. We're excited, and now you guys have time to catch up too, so we can all talk about it together.
Who said I'm doing that?
You did about two
Damn,
hours
you
ago.
got me.
2 hours. Jeez.
So yeah,
Well,
we'll rename the episode, but this is episode 1 of Rings of Power. And
Freudian slip.
Yep. Slipped right out of, well, yeah, you know.
Yep. Yep.
So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Again, go check us out on Morning Mayhem's podcast. We may be back. We may have him on here. Who knows? But next week, Bluey and I will be in Orlando. We're hoping to do a stream at some point. Definitely not Tuesday, because I'll be at a trade show for work. But possibly Thursday or Friday. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a Saturday morning stream.
Oh,
Like maybe we'll do an early one before we go to the park. You know, we'll see. But yeah, we'll do some reels and stuff from Universal. I can't speak for Bluey, but I'm definitely getting a wand, and I'm getting the interactive ones. You know, that like you can wave at stuff. So I'm excited. Yeah. So super excited. I know it's supposed to rain next week though, so hopefully it's not
going to stop us from doing anything.
Yeah, we'll see. But it's gonna be warm, so I'm excited. And the hurricanes are in Louisiana. They can keep them over there. Yeah. But yeah, go check out our Discord. Go check out our twits. And you can check Bluey and I out on X.
That's right. Right there.
Right there. Yep. Go check us out. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for listening. Peace. We'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye.